After my 5-month-long break from the series, it's back in its full glory, and Kira is more than ready to absolutely screw me over in GTA Online. To give a quick rundown of how this entire series works, Kira is my girlfriend. She decides what I buy in the game, whether it be a business or a vehicle. I kind of have to narrow it down for her because I don't want to be completely screwed over. And to catch you guys up to speed as to what I have on this new character, I got an arcade, a salvage yard, a free Itali GTO from the salvage yard, a nightclub, and an auto shop. So I have a good amount of things at my disposal in order to make money. And just like the other episodes, she did get a choice at the beginning, so let's quickly hop over to see what her choice was. Yo, Kira, we meet again. How you doing?
Shit.
That's good. Do you want to make me suffer again?
Not really, but let's go ahead.
Here's the rest of the businesses in the game.
Do an acid lab.
So like always, I had to start off with the daily activities because, you know, they're good to do. They give you some good money. And I wanted to start off with the normal time trial, the one that makes you $100,000 every week. I failed on my first time. I just wasn't paying attention because I was streaming it, plain and simple. But then afterwards, someone had told me you can actually respawn in this time trial. I didn't know that. It's kind of weird how you can play GTA for thousands of hours and you still find these little things that you just never knew were actually there. But then finally, I was able to beat the time trial with no problem, and I found out you can only do it on one character. And I had already done it when the week started, so I only got $2,000. Kind of a waste of time, but hey, can't do anything about that. So then I went over to the Junk Energy time trial, the one with the bike. Didn't know if you could do this either, but when I finished it, I did earn a juicy 50K. So we're good there. And I also had raided the Stash House. This is kind of a toss-up. I don't quite remember how much money I got from this. I have it in my notes, 50K, but I'm pretty sure it was 30K. Somewhere around that area. Not a whole lot of money, but it still did help me out in the long run. But now it's time for the big juice of the video. In order to get the Acid Lab, you have to do 6 separate missions for Dax, the first dose missions. And the introduction to this is kind of unfortunate. Ron gets absolutely dogpiled. I feel bad for him. Let's start with the first mission. So this is a shootout similar to Trevor's mission from story mode where you have to like defend Chef's business or something like that. If you haven't played story mode, I mean, just watch the gameplay. It's just a shootout. You just have to take out all the guys that are chasing you. Pretty simple stuff. You had to go across the Alamo Sea to another shootout. It's just a shootout. You don't really have to do anything special. Just take out the enemies. And after they're all taken out, you have to grab Dax's van and go get Dax and then bring him back to the abandoned warehouse, which is actually the freak shop they're going to be owning. In the second mission, we had to go to the bottom of the map, which is called Terminal, the dock area. We had to grab a truck cab and steal some party supplies. I thought this is where the mission ended, but then lo and behold, the supplies catch on fire, you have to release the trailer, and then they blow up. Then you have to infiltrate a lost MC camp, the one that's near the casino, take out all the enemies there, take a picture of their plans, steal a bag, and the green stuff that is inside there, of course. I don't want to get demonetized. And then return to the freak shop. Pretty simple mission. The third one, we had to go straight to Stab City, which is another lost MC camp next to Alamo Sea, and just be an American. Blow some shit up. Once all that was said and done, Kira decided to drive right off of a cliff, right into the water. Once we finally got to the other location, we had to steal some crystals. We'll call it that, because again, I don't want to get demonetized. There was 10 in total, and a lot of this I was AFK for, so thanks, Kira, for getting all of this for me. Once all that's said and done, we had to fly a dodo all the way back to the freak shop, landing it in the canal. Pretty easy stuff, because I was the one flying. If it was Kira, we'd be, well, probably dead. Now the fourth mission. This is the one where you go on a crazy LSD trip. Your character is super high, you have a bunch of different effects on your screen, and I'm going to warn you, if you have epilepsy, don't watch this point of the video. Just skip a couple minutes or so. It gets really bright and colorful. But the first part of this, you have to follow Dax on a BMX bike. It's not hard. I mean, I was just kind of hopping around waiting for Dax to finish what he was doing. We'd dodge some obstacles, being like trucks and dump trucks and a lot of stuff. Oh, they're so fast. We had to drive on an invisible road on a bike, which really caught me off guard because I was like, am I even going the right way? I didn't know. Once you got teleported again, you have to go between these gates that are moving, and of course, I hit one of the gates. Oh! Then you gotta drive through bright-ass tunnels. This is where I said, with the epilepsy warning, it is crazy in these tunnels. So, I'm sorry if this causes any problems for people, but pretty bright in here. And towards the end of the mission, I didn't know this if you had 2 players, you have to reach a destination as a white rabbit. You're gonna take turns, you have to hunt each other down. Once you kill the other person that's a white rabbit, you turn into it, you just have to reach the destination. You don't really get anything for reaching it first, it's just kind of a fun mini game you have to do. Then of course we get taken by a UFO, or at least the UFO animation takes us away, and we have to skydive into the ground. That's pretty much it. It's just a very unique mission, and I wish there was more like it in this game, But what can you do? Not a whole lot. The fifth one, we had to destroy a lot of equipment. We started off destroying lab equipment, dying in the process, of course. Whoa! And we had to destroy 7 delivery vans. There were 4 in Sandy Shores, scattered all throughout it. And then there was 3 at the Ultras camp, where there's naked people there. And then those people at that camp had a Valkyrie. I don't know how these guys got a Valkyrie, but they did. We just had to take it down. Pretty easy, because I'm just an absolute gamer when it comes to the homing launcher. So we got that shit taken care of. And then now the 6th mission. This one's pretty long. We had to head over to Humane Labs. I accidentally got caught. Not my intention, but I had no idea you had to do this stealthily. But it's still okay. But to hack a keypad, unfortunately, you don't do like any animation. You just kind of sit there and wait for your character to do the stuff on the phone. But once we got inside the Humane Labs, we had to search a loading bay for some intel. I don't quite remember what the intel was we were looking for, but afterwards we had to search some crates for chemicals. Kira got most of this. Again, thanks, Kira. Yeah, we had to stop by a train station now to switch some tracks because we're going to be stealing the acid lab off of a train. Once the train got absolutely demolished, we had to search some different crates on the cars from the train for chemicals. Again, Kira got all of these. He was kind of carrying the team now, wasn't she? But finally, we had to get the acid lab off of one of the cars. That's kind of a pain in the ass. And bring it back to the freak shop. And now we had the acid lab in our possession, but we still didn't actually own it yet. Now that I had it acquired, I had to get some supplies for it. One of the more unique missions in the game, and it's kind of chill and laid back, unless you don't know how to use a forklift like I did. We had to go steal supplies from another business, kind of in free roam. It's not like an actual mission, which I find really nice. And all you do is use a forklift to load some chemicals, I think, or something like that, onto a flatbed. It's not hard, unless you're me, but once everything was loaded onto the truck, you just deliver it back to the freak shop, plain and simple. Now, one thing I felt really stupid about is you actually had to buy the acid lab. I thought you got this for free. I remember someone in my comments saying that it costs money. Now I kind of feel bad for misleading people. I didn't know this. I thought that you got it for free, then you had to buy the upgrades for it after you did separate missions. So I had to spend $750K. Afterwards, I bought some supplies for it. Now I had $2,000 to my name. I know buying supplies isn't good for a business unless you have the upgrades. But what can you do? I don't have the upgrades. I didn't really plan on doing the missions to get the upgrades quite yet because I was going to take a long ass time. So we had to now figure out what to buy next.
Vehicle warehouse sounds interesting.
Vehicle? Fuck you. Choose a different one.
Let's do the bunker.
The bunker. That's good. That's good. So yeah, she had said vehicle warehouse at first, and I remembered that I don't even have an office on this character. So I'm like, you know, you gotta choose something else. I can't really make that much money, $2.5 million, within a reasonable amount of time. So then she said the bunker. But I'm thankful that she chose the bunker out of everything else there, because it's a really good business. It's passive, makes good money, you can do research, and I had just made a guide on it. So if you need the bunker, go watch that guide. But I also had another plan for this video. The entire time, it was not my plan to get the acid lab, do all the missions or anything. Before any of that, I was planning on doing the contracts for the auto shop, because during this week, they are double money. So I wanted to do the Union Depository one, because that's $600,000 in about like 30 minutes, fairly easy. So that's what we did. We did 3 Union Depositories, and here's a quick rundown of how the Union Depository works. So the first setup, you have to break into an apartment and search somebody. I can't remember what this guy's name is or what the game refers him to or what you're stealing. I have a terrible memory. Once you steal off of him what you need, you have to go inside of an elevator and steal a security vehicle. It's not hard, you just take out a bunch of enemies. They're kind of dumb when it comes to shooting, but hey, we got the security vehicle. Once you have it, you have to stash it in a location that you choose, but I put it in the best location that is the closest and the best for the Union Depository final heist. The next mission is always really tedious. We have to go steal a police helicopter at the airport. With that helicopter, we have to search for a bank manager in a parking lot near the Maze Bank. And he's always in the same car, the blue Comet S2, I believe. And once you scan him, you have to follow him around. He always goes to the same location, which is like a party hotel or something like that at the top of the city. I don't know what it's actually called, but he always goes there. Once he's inside, you have to get a compromising photo of him. What this means is you have to wait until he hugs the girl that he's there with. Then you take a photo of him with the helicopter or your phone. But with all that done, we can now move on to the actual Union Depository final heist. It's actually much more simple than the last setup I just talked about. You take the security vehicle and bring it into the Union Depository. It's to show the guard your ID and go into an elevator. It was kind of buggy, I believe, the first time we did it. But once you go down the elevator, you have to steal some gold. Of course, you get the cops, I believe, a 5-star wanted level because you're stealing from the Union Depository. It sounds a little bit familiar, like something from story mode. Once you have all the gold, you just have to escape, which is kind of a pain in the ass since there's so many enemies, we're low level, and there's a bunch of glitches that can happen with NPCs shooting really fast. Just a not very good time. But once we got through all of that and got in our getaway vehicle, it's as simple as just losing the cops. And that was the first $600,000 to my name. And like I said, we did it 3 times in total, so the 2 other times, one I did it with the group I had, and the second one I did it by myself because nobody was online. And now I have about $1.8 million to my name to buy a bunker. And so while I was alone, I went ahead and bought the Chumash bunker, being the closest to the city. I was originally going to buy the Fort Zancudo one, but I'm like, let's be efficient about this character. And once I bought it, I had to go inside and once again do another long cutscene similar to the Acid Lab one. But setting up the bunker was fairly easy. Similar to how you deliver ammunition parts inside the bunker, it's like the complete opposite. You have to go get a dune loader that has ammunition parts from an ammunition store and bring it back to your bunker, delivering those parts to your bunker. But I didn't really have anything else planned for this video, so to end it off, I went ahead and collected my nightclub safe money for $200,000. Since this was the second day, I did the energy bike time trial for another $50,000, and finally raided the stash house, and unfortunately getting weapon supplies. I wanted to get Acid Lab supplies. But what can you do? You don't always get what you want. And that sums up the video. I don't know how short this is. It might be shorter than the other ones that I've already made. But then again, it wasn't a very eventful video. Didn't have a whole lot planned. Maybe next time I'll have more planned. So I guess you'll find out. But if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. Let me know what videos you want to see next. All that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out, everybody. I love every single one of you.